Rad fam! Today we are going to hop into another paranormal topic. I think I say this literally every video. Today's an exciting one. We just cover some really exciting, frightening things on this channel. So, if you're new here, hi, hello, my name is Kaylena. You should just go ahead and subscribe right now. Yeah, this feels like a good time to say that. But today we are going to cover the topic of black-eyed children. Now, I recently watched a video that Haley Reese did. Oh, I love her channel. And it just really got me fascinated about this topic. Today I want to do my own deep dive into this really terrifyingly creepy topic and try to get more information out of it. Like, what's the origin of it? Maybe even more specific urban legend characteristics. I just want to know why we should be afraid of it. So let's get to it. To start off with, we should just go ahead and read the urban legend because, while I've heard of black-eyed children before, I really don't know too much about them. They kind of seem like there's just so many different variations of them, which I'm sure we'll cover in this video. But yes, let's just start with an urban legend as our basis. Scary movies constantly have people fearing old country back roads, abandoned homes, and kids popping out of cornfields. But the black-eyed children are known to seen wandering around totally normal, non-threatening locations like Walmart or your neighborhood or like a park. So that's what really, I guess, sets them apart from the typical horror movie tropes. They show up in non-scary places. So supposedly you can encounter a black-eyed child doing your errands. And that kind of makes it way more frightening, doesn't it? That's not all though. Apparently, what's worse, they're rumored to put their victims in a tight situation by starting out asking them for something totally unsuspecting, like a ride home or some cash. So really, they could be anybody, and apparently you won't know that they're anything paranormal or creepy until you get up and close and personal with them and can actually see their eyes. That's pretty creepy, but also plenty of people have naturally black eyes, don't they? I feel like I've met people with at least really, really dark brown eyes that look black. I actually think it's really beautiful too. So interesting. Oh, wait, no. For black-eyed children, though, they have the whites of their eyes are also black, so never mind. I mean, some people might actually have that. I don't know. Let's dive into maybe the sources or the cause now. This website actually includes supposedly the first documented case of mentioning a black-eyed child. And it was in 1996 from reporter Brian Bethel, who had pulled his car into the parking lot of an Abilene movie theater to use the bright marquee light to write a check. Wow, that sentence right there is just so 1990s. While filling out his check, though, two young kids who Bethel claims were between the ages of 9 and 12, so very unassuming ages, right? I'd be a little concerned if a kid that age came up to me in the middle of the night, you know what I mean? I would instantly think something was wrong and where's their parents at? But these children were said to have knocked on the window and asked for a ride home to grab some cash to come back to the movie theater. That's very odd. I would find that situation odd, but maybe I'm just a very distrusting person, and I probably just read way too many horror stories and watched way too many horror movies to ever accept giving a ride home to somebody. I'll let you use my cell phone. Go ahead, call for an Uber, you know what I'm saying? But then again, this was the 90s. Life was different. The children who totally unnerved Bethel, so they must have been giving off some sort of creepy vibe that he could pick up on, claimed they didn't have a gun before making eye contact and revealing cool black eyes that Bethel later described as the sort of eyes one sees these days on aliens or bargain basement vampires on late night television. Okay, that's very specific and very, I guess he is a writer, so that's a very writer way to describe that situation. Yeah, that's pretty unsettling. So not only were their eyes all black, which is unusual, but they gave off this vibe beforehand that something wasn't quite right. Now, well, that's very spooky, and now we have a baseline, I guess, of the urban legend and of the first documented case. I want to know a little bit more. Now, there's plenty of urban legends out there that aren't really about an actual story or a place, but they're about creatures, right? And so they're never really too in-depth, but I want to know a little bit more. Okay, so they're kids with black eyes. Is that it? What do they do? Are they there just to spark a sense of fear in you? And why? I want to know, are they aliens? Are they some sort of creature so they're not actually kids? There's got to be more to it. So let's dive into the more. So all our paranormal deep dives that we do on this channel, we are going to head over to Wikipedia now because that's my favorite place to get very succinct information. I don't know why I feel like I justify using Wikipedia. Wikipedia is great, okay? Black-eyed children are contemporary legend of supposed paranormal creatures that resemble children, so they're not actually kids. Interesting. Now, see, answer the question right off the bat. They're supposedly between the ages of 6 and 16 with pale skin and black eyes, who are reportedly seen hitchhiking or panhandling, or are encountered on doorsteps of residential homes. Tales of black-eyed children have existed since the 1950s. Whoa. Okay, so what we just read previously about that encounter with that reporter, that was in 1996. So that's the first documented case. But they're saying they're from the 1950s. So I'm a little confused by that discrepancy. Maybe they didn't call them black-eyed children. Maybe they called them something else. Maybe they called them aliens. But now we know for sure that there's some sort of creepy creature that for some reason want to resemble children, maybe to gain people's trust, to then what? Just study them, just to see how we work? Because there's no real stories yet of these black-eyed children doing anything. But I'm sure we're going to get into that. Maybe that was just like the one story we heard so far. Maybe they like abduct people. I don't know. But if a little kid comes to my doorstep in the middle of the night, I mean, nowadays I'm so distrusting, I'm going to call the police right away. But like, you're going to want to help them, right? But now here's this urban legend going to go ruin that, and now we're all going to be mean people and not help each other, apparently. Okay, so Wikipedia actually has a little bit of the history of black-eyed children, so let's see if maybe it actually does go back further than that 1996 report. The legend supposedly originated from 1996, written by Texas reporter Brian Bethel on a ghost-related mailing list. Okay, I'm not saying that makes it any less reputable, but, you know, take this with a grain of salt. Obviously, it is a paranormal topic. It is, some would say, an urban legend. So, you know, seeing where it originates from might help you personally distinguish if it's fact or fiction. You know what I'm saying? He claims that a second person had a similar, unrelated encounter in Portland, Oregon. Oh, that's interesting. Very far away from each other, so that means they're all over the place. Bethel's stories have become regarded as a classic creepypasta. Okay, so most people are taking this as it's not actually true. And apparently it gained so much popularity that he published an FAQ just to keep up with the demand for more information about this new urban legend. Oh, I spoke too soon. Apparently he went on a TV series called Monsters and Mysteries in America, saying that his experience is true and maintaining his belief it was legitimate. Okay, so like every urban legend, you will never find out. And so they even include a picture of what a black-eyed child would look like. And you know what? It looks like a child with pure black eyes. Very unsettling. Can people actually have eyes that are completely black though? I mean, I've personally never seen it naturally. I've seen people who've had it tattooed done, and that's pretty cool, but also very creepy. But pretty cool too. If they don't want to do us any harm, then it has to be for research purposes, right? So are they aliens? So now to try to understand even more so the origin of the black-eyed children, let's jump over to Snopes and see what they have to say. Some reports have been compiled, and there's been like some similarities beyond just having black eyes and then fitting within that 6 to 16 age range. Apparently, they'll ask you just normal questions like to use the bathroom, make a phone call, for a ride, for money, for food, just like things that if a kid were to come to you and ask for those things, you'd feel obliged to, right? Because you'd want to help this child, right? Because why do they feel the need to ask you, a stranger, these things? Another trait, though, besides the black eyes, is that they talk in a very breathless and monotone voice, which is very uncharacteristically child. That makes sense? That's not how a child talks. Children have typically a lot of emotion when they speak. So for a kid who has all black eyes to come up to you and kind of sound like a robot, like, ooh, that's gonna raise several creepy red flags, especially if they're at your doorstep in the middle of the night, asking for a sandwich. Oh, that's really sad though. Some theories online allege that these children are vampires, they're extraterrestrials, they're interdimensional beings, or some form of demons. Always gotta throw in the demon in there, you know what I'm saying? A little sprinkle of, little evil. Ooh, but here they say the adults that these children approach feel a sense of overwhelming fear before realizing that there's something drastically wrong with the children and their eyes. So this kind of goes back to the original written encounter, right, of that from that reporter, that he felt something was off before he even noticed like the physicalness of them being off. That kind of fits with like what I've heard about demons, right? Like you have like the sixth sense. I really haven't heard of any people having sixth sense about vampires or extraterrestrials. To support the alien theory, if they're here for research purposes, that would fit most with something from another planet, wouldn't it? Maybe that's why they took on the form of a child, because they know that more people are going to be more trusting if it's someone of young age versus maybe a middle-aged man that comes to your door. But feeling the fear before you have a reason to kind of fits more with the demon theory also. The thing about black-eyed children that still, even while I'm making this video right now, trying to answer all these questions I have, still fascinates me is their mystery. The thing about it is you're never going to get all your questions answered because it's paranormal. And with the paranormal comes the uncertainty. But what makes me the most curious about black-eyed children is that there's so many stories about people that say they've encountered these creatures before. I want to dive into maybe some more scientific based explanations as to why so many people claim to have seen these children. The number one reason being that they're falsely perceived experiences. It can be from somebody that has read about black-eyed children and maybe subconsciously had it lingering around and then encountered a child that fit within those characteristic traits said in the urban legend, and maybe even their situation fit the stories. Because think about it, if a kid that you don't know comes up to you in the middle of the night in a poorly lit area, and maybe they have really dark eyes naturally, and maybe they have big irises, if you're already kind of on edge with that situation, and you already then know about this urban legend, I could see how you would think in your mind you've encountered a black-eyed child, or maybe possibly encountered one. And then when you tell the story to a friend, maybe they then confirm your paranormal suspicions. When you read about a phenomenon, you are predisposed to be more attentive to it. Reading reports of black-eyed children might make you more attentive to kids and teens seeking your attention in the dead of night. So very similar to what I just said. This article actually does say that there are some natural causes for people to have black eyes. Eyes normally dilate in low light conditions, with the pupil enlarging to let in more light. When this happens though in other conditions, so not in darkly lit rooms, it's called mydriasis. There's also, you know, if someone has a blown out pupil from increased intracranial pressure, that's a tongue twister there. People can have blown out pupils from trauma to the eye. There's other conditions, taking certain medications or drugs can make your pupils enlarge. And also another rational explanation for these experiences are that these children are doing it for a hoax. They know about this urban legend, or they have heard something similar and thought it'd be fun to mess with somebody. So they're wearing sclera contacts, which are the contacts that take up the whole eye, which, oh my God, if you watch videos of people putting those in and taking them out, oh, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. I'm not someone that gets grossed out very easily, surprisingly, but those big old thick lenses that take up the whole area, oh, it's so gross. I mean, teenagers love to play pranks, right? So if they heard about this urban legend and want to scare you real bad, or want to make a YouTube video scaring you real bad, it doesn't cost a lot to get those lenses online, which is really bad for your eyes. Do not do that, by the way, guys. What do you believe? Do you think black-eyed children are like they originally are said in the urban legends? They're these paranormal creatures that for some reason want to gain our trust but can't quite do it successfully? Or are they maybe kids looking to play a prank and have some fun at your expense? I would love to know what you guys think down in the comments. This is one that's very much up for debate. And if you haven't done so already and you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And holy crap, my 5th year YouTube anniversary on this channel is coming up. It's this month, it's in February. 5 years making spooky content. Wow. That is blowing my mind, guys. So I quickly just wanted to say, if you're new here, thank you. If you've been here for 5 years almost, thank you. I'm just so excited to be able to make spooky content and share it with you guys. It means so much to me. And honestly, it's the only thing I want to do. It makes me so happy just having the Rad fam and to talk about these nightmare-inducing things. So thank you so very much for 5 awesome years. And until next time, keep it the radness, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.